at TQQQ. Look at how well this thing's done over the years. If you go max, this is in Google Finance. Since 2010, when it came out in February 2010, it is up 23,000%. That is pretty damn crazy. So whatever money you put in times 233, right? So let's say if I put in 10,000 bucks, that'd be $10,000 times 233. We would end up with a very, very nice result there. So 233 times $10,000. Let's say if I put in 10 grand into this ETF, I would have $2.3 million right now. Pretty damn crazy. All right, so turning 10K into $2.3 million since 2010. That is pretty damn impressive. It's why I really like this ETF. Again, basically, it's the NASDAQ. It's the QQQ times 3. So if the QQQ is up 1%, this thing's up 3. If the QQQ is down 1%, this thing's down 3. Right? So it's one of my favorites to actually trade. However, it is one of those that crashes pretty damn often. So you can see here, it reached a peak of $42 in 2021. And then we had the bear market of 2022, and it dropped all the way down to like $8, $9, right? So this thing moves a lot. That's like a 75% drop. That's pretty damn crazy. The market's been a bit off the past few weeks, which is actually the kind of strategies I want to build out today. So I've been thinking a lot about building a bot that makes money when the stock market goes down, because we're seeing this whole thing. We're seeing the stock market maybe not responding the best right now to a lot of new information. We seem to have stopped this whole bull market over the past few weeks. So I'm actually very interested in making some bots that make money if the market goes down, right? So that's going to be something that we can actually talk about today. You guys can check that out, go into each one of these strategies. Then we have our AI bot builder. If you click on create AI strategy, you might be prompted to actually log in, put in your email and phone number. And when you get here, it's basically going to ask you, what do you want to build today? And you could actually go ahead and say, I want to build a bot that does X, Y, Z, right? Let's say I'll say something like, I want to build a trading bot that makes money when the stock market crashes. Right, let's say I say something like that. I'll put that into this AI. And we got a response back. It says, to build a bot that profits from market crashes, we typically use short or inverse strategies. Here are the most effective approaches we can automate. Let me zoom in a bit so you guys can see this. Inverse ETFs is one thing that we can do, right? The bot buys ETFs such as SQQQ, right? We could do that. We could do long put options. The bot buys put options on the S&P. So if the market drops, we make money. And we could also do short selling. So the bot borrows stock like Apple or SPY and sells them, hoping to buy them back for cheaper, right? Look at this. In 1980, we were at 30%. Today, we're at 118%, 120%. It's coming down, which is nice. But that's probably also why we're seeing the market come down as well, because this is eventually going to have to stop. We're eventually going to have to bring down the debt. We're eventually going to have to do something about this, because eventually you just can't pay it, right? There's math involved here, right? Like if you're indebted this much by a country, you're going to have to pay this back at some point. You have to pay interest, and it does put a drag on the economy. If this keeps going up, it gets more and more expensive to maintain, and eventually you either are forced to reduce it, or there's a crack in the system, and maybe the US dollar goes bye-bye. That's kind of happened throughout history. If you read this book, How Countries Go Broke, this has actually happened many times in history. It happened to the UK. It happened to the Netherlands. It happened to a bunch of other countries. That happened to Rome back in the day. It happened to a bunch of other world powers. So hopefully we're not heading in that direction, but it's not looking so hot. And it's making me think, hey, maybe we want to be investing in some stuff that is not going to explode if things go sideways, right? So what do you think about that? Put it into the comments. Let me know. I respond to all of your comments, so I'm very interested to hear what you thought about the video and what do you want to see next. And of course, if you're interested in any of this stuff, go check it out at botspot.trade.